I've consumed my fair share of crow and hat over the past few election cycles, having placed probably more faith in my fellow Americans than I probably should have, so I've chosen to refrain from making any more predictions and instead focus on learning how to prepare for outcomes. While I can't give you an over-under on the odds, I will say this. We've collectively moved from the realm of possibility into the space of probability. Because of that shift, I think it would behoove us to start, at the very least, humoring the idea of President J.D. Vance.
A wise guy, eh?
Salutations, fellow nerds. I'm Rick Y, and today is July 23rd, 2025. And I know. Even saying it out loud gave me kind of a sour taste in the back of my throat, but some recent events are just too interesting to ignore. There's a guy I follow here on YouTube, Tom Powell Jr., because he feels like the logical next step in my personal life's journey at this point. And recently, he started speaking my kind of language. He pointed out something interesting. The thing that took down Nixon wasn't the crime, it was the cover-up, and it all went down at the beginning of his second term. That kind of historical modern juxtaposition, yeah, it titillates me. But then I started thinking about some other interesting goings-on that kind of had me wondering. So this video today, it's more of a sit back, light a J, and walk with me through some what-ifs and conjecture kind of vibe. I'm currently chilling with some alien lemonade, so rip it and let's fly. So what actually brought Richard Nixon down? Some folks believe he saw the writing on the wall and just kind of bailed. But the truth is, on August 7th, 1974, a delegation of Republican congressional leaders went to the House to deliver a blunt message to the president. The jig's up. Get the fuck out. Senators like Barry Goldwater, along with both Senate majority and minority leaders, met with Nixon and told him plainly he no longer had the political support to survive impeachment. Goldwater himself was said to have told Nixon that if the vote reached the Senate, he might only have 4 or 5 votes in his favor. And even Goldwater's wasn't guaranteed. The next day, on August 8th, 1974, Nixon resigned on national television, effective noon the following day. Now, do I have any faith in current congressional Republicans? No. No, I do not. You see, we all learned that Speaker Mike Johnson avoided a vote on the Epstein Files, a vote that was gaining traction behind closed doors on Capitol Hill. But here's the thing. This wasn't some Democrat trying to score points. It was Republican Thomas Massie of Kentucky pushing to bring it to the floor. GOP lawmakers like Massie, Ralph Norman, and Senator Tom Tillis are pressing hard. Massie even teamed up with Representative Ro Khanna on a discharge position. And meanwhile, it's being reported that Attorney General Pam Bondi instructed the FBI in mid-March to comb through roughly 100,000 Epstein-related documents and flag any that mention Donald Trump. Let me repeat that. These are the same files that Pam Bondi now claims don't exist. And according to Senator Dick Durbin, this task included about 1,000 FBI agents working in shifts to identify Trump-named emails, memos, or documents. Documents that, again, never existed. And we should all just stop talking about it. But what bombshell that I thought went criminally underreported was Senator Ron Wyden, who is a Democrat from Oregon, took to the Senate floor and revealed that the Treasury Department is sitting on a massive file, 4,725 suspicious wire transfers tied to Epstein, totaling over $1.1 billion with links to Russian banks and sex trafficking networks. Wyden says it's full of, quote, actionable information and is demanding DOJ and Treasury act. The situation is stirred up by partisan outrage and fractured the GOP. So much so that the House leadership accelerated the August recess to dodge it. And honestly, that alone would be worth talking about. But there's more. Vice President J.D. Vance recently made a quiet trip to Rupert Murdoch's Montana ranch, meeting not just with Murdoch and his son Lachlan, but also several Fox News executives. That reeks of a "we may need a new face soon" conversation. And not for 2029, for 2026. And now, Ghislaine Maxwell, Epstein's convicted partner in crime and the only one still in a prison cell, has offered to testify before Congress under oath. Can she be trusted? Probably not, especially if she tries to peddle the same discredited story in exchange for a sweetheart pardon deal. But here's the thing, pardoning her doesn't make Trump's problem go away. It actually makes it worse. Why would someone already serving time risk lying under oath if a pardon's waiting at the other end? Well, imagine Trump pardoning the most infamous sex trafficker alive immediately after she lies under oath in front of Congress to protect him. Now imagine being the average Q-adjacent voter who fears a pedophile cabal in the deep state and watching the president free the ringleader. Good luck navigating that PR disaster. Even the usual Obama did it deflection isn't flying with these folks anymore. This is the Scar moment in The Lion King when all the hyenas start turning and looking at him sideways as Pride Rock burns. This Epstein nightmare is not going away. And Trump? He's tossing red meat to his base, but it's not working. Not to mention, there's now a hard-to-ignore evidence resurfacing, like that gross birthday card to Epstein referencing enigmas that never age. Blech. Even the smaller lies are being debunked by his own base in real time. They're in crisis mode, and they're running out of moves. So what's the reality as we speak right now? I believe Trump is named in those documents. That's a consensus among multiple reporting outlets. And he knows the problem isn't that if they'll be released, it's when. We've seen the narrative evolve in real time. The files are fake. Okay, the files are real, but they were made by the Democrats. And 100% ignore that he was arrested and died in my presidency. Meanwhile, Vance is making moves. If there is direct evidence, bank transfers, emails, or testimonies connecting Trump to child trafficking or abuse, it's not just a political catastrophe, it's a legacy killer. Support would collapse, especially among suburban voters and evangelicals who've been hanging on a thread. Conservative media outlets would have no choice but to pivot hard, probably towards someone like Vance or another clean slate option. And MAGA? It could fracture for good. Hardliners will go full martyr. Donors and political institutions, they'll start salvaging the brand. And this isn't just one singular scandal, it's crisis forecasting and succession management. When people at the top start to recognize that their golden goose is about to get cooked, they don't wait for an oven timer, they start prepping the next course. And right now, J.D. Vance looks like the entree. Congress? They're scrambling for time. There's a good chance that intelligence and the judiciary committees have already enough information that cannot be ignored without subpoenas. And in the world of PR disasters, that alone should give the globe pause. What comes next could leave deep scars, or worse. The next few weeks are probably going to get interesting if this pressure keeps building. Anyway, if you dig the content or commentary, make sure to like, subscribe, and share it with anyone you think might inform or irritate the hell out of. Y'all come back now. You hear?